Is someone here from Lifehouse Community Church? Seeing none, would you join me? Heavenly Father, as we assemble here tonight, we're blessed to be meeting together. We ask for your guidance and blessing on our state and national leaders. Please bless them with a spirit of grace and cooperation as they work through many challenges. Tonight, we're here to do city business. We'll be paying for the routine expenses of the city as well as for the work of skilled professionals. We'll be making appointments to commissions, scheduling public hearings, conducting hearings, considering development agreement, considering a grant application, accepting property for non-payment of taxes, and other deliberations for the long-term future of our city. So we ask that you look down on those who have felt your call to be in attendance. For the council members and staff, please bless us with quiet and considered attitudes, well thought out deliberations, and ultimately decisions that are best for all concerned. Please bless those in the audience and watching the broadcasts, the leaders of businesses and organizations who have the vision and commitment to help the city, the countless volunteers who are motivated to help, and informed citizens who have given us the privilege of their trust and support. Tonight we assemble to combine the talents that you have given us for the benefit of Oskaloosa. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight. Amen. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Almond. Here. Burnett. Caligari.
Here.
Comfort.
Here.
Drost.
Here.
Hermson. Ocean.
Okay. First item up on the agenda is the opportunity for community comments. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief, speaking on concerns whether or not they're included on the current agenda. Time is limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked of the city council, staff, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so that way concerns can be properly researched and answered away from the meeting. Is there anyone who would like to speak tonight? Seeing none, next up is the consent agenda. These are items that are considered as under a single motion, routine in nature. I did want to draw the council's attention to item G, which is the reappointment of representatives to the Municipal Housing Agency. We have Kelly Van Egmond and Carol Peterson asking for reappointment. And also item J, which is a resolution scheduling a public hearing for February 21st of 2023 for levying the special assessment against private property for weed cutting. Also item K is a resolution setting a public hearing for February 21st of 2023, and that's levying a special assessment for a nuisance abatement at 328 North Market in accordance with Oskaloosa Municipal Code. And item L, which is a resolution setting a public hearing for February 21st of 2023 for levying a special assessment for a nuisance abatement at 816 D Avenue West in accordance with Oskaloosa Municipal Code. Do we have a motion of support for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just have one question on item E.
Okay. That is the pay application for Minturn for the 3-lane conversion.
Right. My question is, they're going to come back and repaint those lines?
They've not been paid for any painting.
Okay. Okay.
Good, because it's as if they didn't paint.
Yeah, there's no evidence, right?
Yeah.
I know it's going to be later, I know, but not when it's snowing, right? That's all I got.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments? Roll call.
Caligari.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Drost.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next up is on the regular agenda, item A is to consider a resolution of entering into a development agreement with Christner Properties, LLC. The city utilizes urban renewal area tax increment financing to encourage development located within Oskaloosa's urban renewal area when development meets the purpose of urban renewal. Staff is recommending a development agreement with Christner Properties to encourage the development through rebates of tax increments generated by the project. And that's capped at $125,000 for a 4,800 square foot commercial building with site improvements. In addition, if the developer manages to secure a sit-down restaurant, and meets other requirements, the city provides further assistance capped at $25,000. The detailed terms are found in the agreement that's made a part of our packet. The project is consistent with the urban renewal purpose, the adopted urban renewal plan that was passed in July of 2019, the 2022 OSKI comprehensive plan, and also the city's 2024 to 2026 strategic plan. So the plans for the project were approved as a planned unit development by the City Council on March 26th of 2022 and is currently under construction. So this does require a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak tonight? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support for this resolution?
Moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Comfort,
Yes.
Drost,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Getting us to item B. This is to consider a resolution approving and authorizing an application for a State of Iowa RISE grant for the US 63 to Iowa 23 connector project. So the city has been in discussions with Mahaska County to utilize the State of Iowa's Revitalize Iowa Sound Economy grant, also known as a RISE grant, in order to construct a connector road between US 63 and Iowa 23. Completion of the project would relieve the downtown areas of the city from highway traffic which currently has to pass through. If the grant's awarded, the total project cost is estimated to be $15,787,769. Of this cost, the RISE grant would fund up to 65%, which is $10,262,050. The remaining amount of approximately $5,500,000 would be split evenly between the city of Oskaloosa and Mahaska County. Final cost to the city would be $2,750,000 approximately, pending the actual cost determined on bid letting, of course. City Council previously approved this application at their meeting on April 18th of 2022. However, the engineer's estimate for the project has changed since the previous approval. The attached resolution updates the local approval for the RISE grant application, including the revised total project cost and confirmation that the project will be maintained and dedicated to public use. The resolution is needed for the upcoming certified site application as well. Do we have a motion of support for this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this?
Get it done.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Drost,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C. This is to consider a resolution waiving assessments against real estate at 115 South M, upon which a tax sale deed will be given to the city pursuant to an agreement with Mahaska County. The communication on this was written by our city attorney and is quite thorough in its way. So please bear with me as I read through this. Last July, the city was contacted by the Mahaska County Treasurer relative to real estate located at 115 South M Street in Oskaloosa, formerly owned by Brian Holliday. The city, after various legal actions, had previously abated nuisance conditions upon the property and therefore assessed $16,052 for the abatement done on January 17th of 2017. And then this was assessed onto the property taxes over a 15-year time period, 9% interest, coming out to roughly $1,472 per 15-year assessment schedule. According to the amount of assessments, the title holder ceased paying taxes upon the property. The county took over the tax certificate for the property after no further taxes were paid, and the amount owing was such that no other bidder would want to take that title. The property has thus stayed off the tax rolls since then. So the county treasurer proposed that the city take an assignment of the tax sale certificate from the county, where the county would waive any back taxes and the city would waive its prior assessments. The city then gets title to the property that would be resold by the city and then put back on the tax rolls. The amount of any resale would likely be less than the total assessment, but the city would be able to finally realize sales proceeds and the property would be on the tax rolls in the future. So the matter was discussed with city staff and determined to proceed. Thereupon, the city requested the assignment of tax sale certificate 2019-19153 with an abatement of Mahaska County taxes upon completion of the tax sale deed and the city removing its special assessments. The Mahaska County Board of Supervisors approved the agreement on July 22nd of 2022 and assigned the county tax sale certificate to the city. So the city attorney has now taken all the steps required by law to serve notice of expiration of right of redemption upon all the interested parties, and the city is finally positioned to receive the formal tax sale deed. To comply with the prior agreement with the county relative to the property, we have to formally waive the assessments otherwise existing on 115 South M Street by virtue of Resolution 17-01-05 and Resolution 17-09-129. The recommended action is to adopt the resolution. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Question I would have is, how soon can we put that up for sale? And what's the plans with that? I mean, it seems to me that it's a nice big lot that would be primed for redevelopment. And, you know, heading into the construction season, do we have any set or thoughts about that going into it?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with the property, so this is new to me as well. But our process for disposition would be relatively quick. Normally, we would put together a packet of information and put it out for bids. So I want to see if there are any unusual circumstances that would prevent that. One being is that we're somewhat short on staff right now. But normally, we would try to get this out within a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other comments? Roll call, please.
Almond?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yes.
Comfort?
Yes.
Drost?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item D. It's to consider approval of a payment of $5,038.33 to SVPA for services completed on the Early Childhood Education and Rec Center. We received invoice number 38198 totaling $4,762.50 for additional services related to the quality of construction issues with the swimming pool and delays related to the early childhood wing substantial completion, and invoice number 38197 for professional services. SVPA Architects, Water's Edge Aquatic Design, and IMEG are providing these services on a as needed hourly basis per the AIA B101 standard form of agreement between owner and architect. The cost for some of those services may be charged back to the contractor per the owner-contractor agreement and the AIA A201 general conditions of contract for construction. Staff is recommending approval. Do we have a motion supporting this payment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? It's been going on for a while. Roll call, please.
Calgery?
Yes.
Comfort?
Yes.
Drost?
Yes.
Almond?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item E, which is the Code Enforcement Quarterly Report. How have things gone in the last quarter?
Thank you, Mayor. I've been giving reports since last March when I took over as fire chief, and I've been trying to get Zach in here. Zach's our code enforcement officer. I don't think everyone has formally met him, so he's going to give the report for the past quarter, and you can let us know what questions you have.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Zach.
Zach.
Nice to meet you guys. So this last quarter the numbers were relatively low, and that was due to a number of circumstances with our staff. It was a very sickly season for us. Kids, staff being sick, so it's been a dance to cover shift. So that's the main reason for the numbers being low. We had a total of 34 cases between the quarter. Most of them were cleared. Here's a breakdown of the type of cases that we were dealing with. Again, garbage and junk continues to be the main thing that we're dealing with. Breakdown between the months. Like I say, October was we got pretty heavy in October, but as soon as we hit November, December, it started to get pretty sickly, so numbers really slowed down. And so moving on forward with our goals, closing the remaining cases we have from last year, which that's been going well. Continue our focus on dilapidated structures and working with property owners. We try not to be too hard on people with roofs, shingles, gutters that need fixed. Try to give them plenty of time to get materials, especially with the way things are going right now. It's really hard to get those. So And we want to continue to refine our processes. We kind of jumped into, Chief and I, a relatively unrefined process. We've just been kind of smoothing things out and learning as we go and getting things figured out. So I hope we're not disappointing. And here we have a few slides of some cases we've been dealing with, some paint that needed done. This one was really bad. They had trash bags and junk all over the place. And that big one there, so we got that all cleaned up.
Was that garage full of stuff too?
Yeah,
Or
when we
mostly full?
We're not sure on how we want to handle stuff that's in structures. Because if they close the door, then we don't really want to be too pushy about it. But we go on the next one. Yep, and this one. So these guys were. This was going under an eviction process. So the current tenants were not very kind with the way they kept things, but we got it all cleaned up. Those were just a few. Any questions?
Okay. How many open cases do we have in our backlog? Because we had a few that didn't get cleared this quarter, but I'm thinking I don't know how many are still hanging out there.
From last year?
Yeah, from last year.
There was 6 at the time of this report from last quarter, and I think there was only maybe a handful left that we were just that I sent to Dixon that he could kind of work on.
Okay, so we're talking single digits here.
Yeah, it's fairly low. We have a pretty good compliance rate typically.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Okay, very good.
Doing
Thank
that
you,
job.
Zach.
Zach, that's
Well done.
That's not an easy job. Thanks.
Okay. Gets us to the end of our regular agenda. Reports from city staff. City manager, anything?
Nothing at all.
Okay. City clerk?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. Then last, let's see, city council members. Joe, anything?
We had our, what do you call it, meeting?
Budget retreat.
Besides that. But the county,
Our joint law enforcement.
joint law enforcement thing, that went pretty well. I think what was that? We fell below the
Maintenance, there's a maintenance fund, so,
Yeah.
we determined that we could keep the contribution from the city and the
Right.
county the same,
Yeah.
but the maintenance fund had dropped below, so we were going to, the allocation of the money we normally give, more was gonna go to that maintenance fund and get that back up according to the agreement. It needs to be at 20,000 and it was at 19 something,
and
so just
change.
under.
Yeah.
There's also the need for, a fire alarm panel, so we put money in the maintenance so that they could buy that and still stay above, get back above that 20,000.
And the fire panel needs to be updated.
And the operating fund is very healthy right now over there, so, we could reduce, that's where we came up with the extra funds.
And the other thing they were looking at was to change the, on the elevator,
Keep out access.
key fob, because right now it's a code number.
It was supposed to have been done, we're just having a hard time getting the contractor
Oh.
to find the time to do it.
Other than that, that's about it.
Okay. Charlie?
MCF board meets next week. Other than that, I have nothing.
Okay. Bob?
I was just we had our budget retreat yesterday, and in the theme of budgets, the Iowa League of Cities puts out this magazine. I just find it interesting that, so many times we think that we're the only ones facing these issues, right? So they did a survey, I think it was 100 communities or something. The top ranked concerns about local economic conditions over the next 5 years. Number 1 is inflation and cost of materials and projects. Number 2 is housing. Number 3, infrastructure condition. And number 4, ability to attract a qualified workforce. Do any of those sound familiar? And the top 5 areas of increased financial impact on cities in the last 5 years: prices and inflation, infrastructure, wages, state and federal environmental mandates. I think we just had a study session about wastewater and public safety. And so again, I think, working through that budget yesterday, there's tough decisions that have to be made, and sometimes we have to make those we don't really like, but we've got to figure out how to continue, create sustainability from a financial standpoint for our town, and we're not the only ones dealing with it. So anyway, that's it.
Okay. Rhonda?
Oh, thank you.
Okay. The only thing I wanted to comment on, I guess, was that, let's see, today is the 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th. So on the 14th, we had our first Eggs and Issues, and it was pretty well attended. The next one is going to be on the 28th of the month. That one will be with state legislators, and so would welcome anyone who wants to come to that. I think it's a good way to meet people who have concerns about what's going on with their government and with the current events that are happening in the community. And so it would do the council members good to be there. So with that, we'll move on to the last item here. It's an opportunity to go into closed session. This is to consider holding a closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.5.1.c to discuss strategy with legal counsel on a matter currently in litigation or in which litigation is imminent, and where disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the city's position. The additional thing I need to say is acting pursuant to the requirements of Iowa Public Information Board. I, Mayor Dave Kreutzfeld, state and indicate that the closed session to follow is to discuss strategy in a pending matter with legal counsel for the city of Oskaloosa, Iowa, acting pursuant to the contract existing between the parties. Do we have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Comfort?
Yes.
Drost?
Yes.
Almond?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. We're going to go into closed session, and we'll dismiss the audience. Thank you. Session. There is no further action to be taken after the closed session, so I guess we just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.